Alright, so we've actually done a lot of coverage for what I was thinking was going to be a fairly normal small patch, but we've got a bit more going on here too. Already talked a lot about balance, already talked a lot about the chair side of the update and other things, but of course Super Adventure Box did return to Guild Wars 2 for this year. I wanted to talk a little bit about what that looks like. Now, if you've been following my channel closely, you will have already seen me talking about the patch notes, but there were a few things in there, like the fact that a race was being added, that there were some new foods and whatnot, that I kind of want to give you guys actual footage and a demonstration of what they did, because I was really excited to see this. So a bit of an update for you all. This is the Super Adventure Book side of the most recent patch, plus a few bonus things, including this thing I want to talk about here right at the start. You guys may not have noticed, but there was a bit of a hint perhaps as to upcoming content with the Mount contract update and the addition of the new Istani-themed ones. It does seem also, by the way, that the community hasn't had any kind of crazy backlash against this setup. It seems being able to buy directly has mostly assuaged people. It's just a few people still grumbling about the specific prices, which I think we all could have seen coming. But you can maybe speculate about some of the upcoming maps. You guys might want to bear this in mind. Obviously, some of these new mounts are just like crazy ghostly looking things or shiny things. There were those celestial mounts in the previous set. Does that mean that we get crazy amounts of celestial style content in Path of Fire? Not really. I mean, funny enough, there is a little bit that giant dwarven mine, but I digress. There are, however, maybe some other interesting things. Like there's a suggestion of snowy mounts and maybe a snowy area. Don't forget, a while ago as well, we did have that update, that sneaky art visual update to the Blood Legion homelands. So really, the can is wide open for where we might go to next. I would just expect it to, if not something to do with the char areas. So let's talk about Super Adventure Box. One of the things that was in the patch notes was the fact there were going to be entrances to SAB in all cities now, not just Ratassu. Well, this is what they look like. They're like at the entrances of the cities. When I first went to Divinity's Reach with making this video for you guys, I actually asked in map chat, hey, does anyone know where it is? And nobody responded except one guy who thought it was still only at Ratassu. And that really tells you something. Yes, it's true, you can enter SAB from all of the domestic cities now, but it's very de-emphasized. It's not that cool looking. Like, this is the one at DR. It's just at the entrance, and it's a small little portal without any balloons or anything fancy going on. No vendors near there. There is a special marker on the minimap letting people know, but, I mean, this is pretty small. Here, I'll roll some footage of the other areas, too. They're all just generally near the entrance of the city, except for some reason the Black Citadel, which is next to their Asura Gate. Not much more to say there. It was a small thing anyway, but I was curious, and there you go. There was another update that wasn't on the patch notes as far as I remember, and it's to do with Drewburt. So I don't really talk about Drewburt much, but Drewburt has become a mainstay for all of the Guild Wars 2 festivals. Those who played during Living World Season 2, so this was before the first expansion now, Heart of Thorns, we encountered a Quaggan who could basically, was begging for money as far as I remember correctly, and you could give some of your gold. And of course, we as players, we'd open the dialogue box and you'd see an NPC asking for your gold and you'd think, oh god, yeah, I'll give it gold. That'll probably get me an achievement or a skin or unlock some new dialogue or something interesting. So you could give this Quaggan gold and you would just give him gold. You wouldn't get anything. It was like a little troll thing. A very funny, nice little moment. Something I really enjoyed. Anyway, that character, that Quaggan, was later attacked and killed by the Mordrum. And then that should have been the end of it, right? Well, starting with one of the Halloween festivals, their ghost started appearing for Halloween, begging again. And it's kind of become a mainstay. The ghost appears in various festivals doing different things. This time, for the first time ever, I believe, Drewburt has appeared for the Super Adventure Festival. You gotta go to kind of a sneaky area, though. They're in the jail below Ratassu. And the devs could have been quite trolly about this. They could have made it so that you had to get caught in the jail as well to be able to speak to Drewburt. But you can just speak to him through the force field here. And once again, he's begging. He's asking for continue coins, which you can gather up. There is, of course, also being sold the infinite continue coin that allows you to ignore the continue coin mechanic altogether. A somewhat early controversial gem store decision. It's probably one of the more pay-to-win aspects of the game, but it's Super Adventure Book, so maybe it gets away with it. Anyway, you can offer to give him the SAB Super Infinite Continue coin, and he comes out with a snarky response that it diminishes the value of playing the game mode and that we should keep it because he doesn't want it, which I give a 10 out of 10. That's absolutely fantastic. And yeah, so there's an achievement to speak to Drewburt. That new selection of achievements has you giving him 100 regular continue coins, which is obviously easier for people with the infinites. And there's not too much more to say, really. The achievements from the previous years continue to roll over depending on how many dailies you had in progress. And it just goes to encourage you to go in once again and play through it all, which hopefully I will at some point. The community did notice something that I want to talk about a bit here. As you guys know, there are different Super Adventure Box weapons and backpacks of various colors. And so there was a Reddit thread that got a developer response to do with these rewards, where someone noted that if you want the Crimson backpack from Super Adventure Box, this would be from completing the, as far as I remember, toughest achievement so far in Super Adventure Box, a rare collection that would take ages. If you actually do the maths on it, you basically have to do all the Super Adventure Box dailies for 5 years or something in a row. Basically, the earliest you could conceivably do it by attending every festival and doing nearly every daily is the year 2021. Which is very, very, very crazy to think about. Probably, you know, because it's in the next decade in our mind, so you have that extra psychological barrier there as well. But it's really far away and is obviously a bit ridiculous. Well, the devs did respond, and they say this. Hale, just wanted to pop in and say this was probably not our most thought through achievement. We kept it on standard with the other Super Adventure Books backpack collections, but we didn't really consider the sort of pressure this would apply to you. We're investigating various options to rectify this. The basis of what we want to do is make it so you don't need all 16 skins to get the backpack. But exactly what that looks like, we haven't solved yet. Unfortunately, we won't be able to get the chance to make the change during this festival. Changing live achievements is very risky, and we want to make sure we have a solution that doesn't have the risk of losing player progress, and a solution that works retroactively. So they are looking to change that. I mean, Christ, by 2021, I would have been holding out hope that some poor dev has had as a secretive side project continuing work on SAB, and by 2021, the real World 3 and 4 are in, and we could get the weapons, you know, how the original theoretical implementation might have been. But there you have it. That's how that goes, and hopefully the achievement hunters who really care about those rare collections will have a better shot at it. And I get this, right? I'm not much of an AP hunter, but I do like finishing categories of stuff, and I've always enjoyed going for collections. But seeing that collection there for that extraordinary length of time, yeah, I can definitely empathize with people being a bit annoyed by that, and we'll see. So there's that. Then the next thing I wanted to talk about as well, another cool thing they did for SAB this year. Many will remember when Super Adventure Books originally came out, it was actually a surprise to the community. It was an April Fool's, joke almost, that ended up being this huge, enormous feature everybody really warmed to. Well, that initial April Fool's release came complete with a mocked up 80s style video game trailer, live action, that they did just for SAB that a lot of people really love looking back at. This year, they kind of did something similar. They did a really well designed, detailed web page dedicated to Super Adventure Box, and I want to show you guys exactly what that looks like. It's even got a bit of that chair feature in there too. The effort that they went into, I don't remember any of the other years having something like this. So first of all, from 29th of March to 19th of April, oh yes, Super Adventure Festival, 1 princess, 1 hero, 1 stick. And it's funny, reading this, I actually got intrigued because it gave like extra little insights I didn't know about SAB. So this is a snippet of the old original trailer that everyone always waxes poetic about. Asuran Genius Moto's cutting-edge, high-tech, ludonarrative triumph. I'm not even sure what this word means, by the way. The Super Adventure Box is back for our annual festival of bouncing mushrooms, exploding flowers, and clouds with attitude. Jump into the future of edutainment if you can handle that much adventure. And we scroll down, we get a new character, Path of Fire looking character, I guess, a princess in peril. Princess Mia, wise and pure of heart, is determined to feed her subjects, but in the midst of her royal picnic, the wicked tyrant Lord Vanquish, see, I never knew it was called Lord Vanquish, emerges from his 10,000-year exile. 10,000 years? It's kind of funny, right? 10,000-year exile. I wonder if they're just drawing parallels to the Elder Dragons, and the idea is the previous Elder Dragon Rising was 10,000 years ago. That's right, guys. There's actual lore speculation to do here. To take her hostage, armed with only a stick, a lone hero sets out to save the princess so she can save her kingdom. I wonder if they have any hints as to the whole conspiracy thing that we got way back when they first added World 2. A hero's journey. Explore 2 radical worlds filled with danger and excitement. Blaze a trail through the treacherous dark woods. Tumble over rolling rapids. Spar with ninjas in the Pain Cliffs. And claim an electrifying victory over the Storm Wizard. All using the latest powerful holo technology. Are you a bad enough hero to face the ultimate grueling challenge? I like this. Are you a bad enough hero? It's so 80s. To face the ultimate challenge. Activate tribulation mode if you dare. Save the princess, jump around, and explore. Collect them all. Princess Mia's champions can claim exclusive rewards to commemorate their bravery. Collect shimmer baubles, combine them to create bauble bubbles, and then trade them to Moto for awesome prizes like weapon skins, guild hall decorations, and boom boxes that play your favorite Super Adventure Box tunes. You'll be the coolest hero around. Actually, as I speak to you right now, I don't recall what the new decorations are, if there are any. I'll edit into the footage in the background the new decorations if they do exist. Man, I hadn't even thought of that. Jesus, that shows how little decorating I've done this past 12 months. Wow, though. Yeah, that's a cool idea. So here you go. We get wallpapers in various resolutions, including 800 by 600, which is kind of hilarious. I get the whole retro theme, right? So they don't always provide an 800 by 600 wallpaper, do they? But they have here for SAB, and I think because of the retro theme, pretty good stuff. They also plug as well Ritlock's Critter Rampage, which is properly embedded in the website as well, which you guys may remember from way back when. This is actually a really difficult side-scrolling game where you have to play as Ritlock and you can jump and kick your way to victory. A lot of you will be watching my video right now thinking, wow, I didn't know about this. There is a link in the description. You can literally pause this video, leave me, and just go play this on your own. You really actually need specifically good timing to beat this. You go through a bunch of different areas. Old-time fans of the franchise will be more than remembering Critter Rampage. And then just more screenshots and things, I guess, from the regular release page. And we can kind of tell that this is a proper Guild Wars 2 thing. But yeah, they put in tons of effort. Also, if you have a look down in the bottom right, they do have a little chair that moves with you. And when you click the chair, it takes you to this page. The URL being guildwars2.com and then English and then just chairs. You get an Evan mark, which just loops us back to the front page. This is to do with the Black Lion Trading Company, I guess. But check it out, chairs and cathedra. There's the Snaff throne for 1,600 gold. There's the Hiffer. Snaff, mysterious gold with black accents. This solid supportive piece will make an impressive addition to any lab. The Heifer, stone grey, compact but outspoken, with levitation technology for comfort and convenience. Dude, I would actually love a levitating chair just for the comfort idea of it. Here we got the Fidus, salvage metal, pair with Mardine, cowskin throw for comfort. Rugged and dignified with ergonomic back support, designed by Char for Char. And then the Bonfaz, clearly the best chair, since Bonfaz is super cool. Every time I see a reference to Bonfaz Burnfur, I love it so much, because he was such a cool character from Ascalon that had so poor handling in the original release. Anyway, Bonfaz, scrap iron, Mardine cowskin throw sold separately, so cozy you might be afraid someone will steal it, so intimidating they'll never try. The Kala, polished iron, roomy and solid enough to suit your whole warband. Side columns can serve as fire pits, drink holders, flower pots. Your imagination is the limit. The Grassed, weathered oak and genuine Ascalonian leather. The classic design you've heard about over and over is back. A perfect companion to the Cola bar tables. We got Nena. Gold accented Mabaya wood. I think you can actually, these are the trees you chop down in POF, right? With its gently sloped back and high armrests, this beautiful chair is just the spot to lose yourself in a good book. The Pige, seasoned woods, hand-finished wooden bench your whole guild will love, part of our fire and hall customization system. The Jora, quarried stone with precious in metal. I actually recognize all these names except Pige. What the hell is Pige's name? Because they're all characters, right? Quarried stone with precious metal inlays, a dignified and beautiful design that will stand the test of time. The Bjarni, sacred bunny treasure, safer, softer than it looks. Is this like a tiny set? The Roj, last of all, which is Cyprus with antique molding. This attractive bench will make it through your holiday ale moot without being destroyed. I haven't looked in any of the small print at the bottom of these pages, but I'm fairly confident there won't be any more jokes or anything down there, right? Possibly, probably. Anyway, amazing effort that they've gone to. I really like it. It looks like they're proper stepping their game up, and really fun stuff. So just an interesting little side you guys might not have noticed. And I think that's about it. If I've missed anything, you guys will let me know. Moving on from the website, there's really just one more thing to talk about, and it's probably the coolest thing. Sorry for saving it for last. It's the new thing in the SAB, the race. So, yes, there is now a race in the hub world. I speculated on the previous video that how could you have a race? It would have to be quite a big area of the hub, wouldn't it, to be able to accommodate for that? Are they revamping the hub? I'll take any excuse to feel like there's something new of a Super Adventure Box level to experience, even if it's just an expanded hub. Well, here's what they did in the end. No, they didn't technically expand it. Not in the way you might expect. Yes, many of you in the comments pointed this out, and you were right. If you think about it, there wasn't going to be mounts in SAB anyway, right? I mean, it's Super Adventure Box. What are they going to do? Let us get on the Springer and charge around all over the place? I mean, that would completely invalidate what Super Adventure Box is about. And I know that this is the Guild Wars 2 community who usually wants to see that kind of thing, like we saw with, mounts in Corteria and Heart of Thorns. But even this community can appreciate that that would be totally terrible for SAB. And so, yes, there aren't mounts. That means that this race is a foot race. You're looking at footage of it in the background. This is my first time doing this race, and I was ecstatic and emboldened, and my ego was fueled to see that just my first time going through it, I was competing for one of the front-running spots. It's a foot race, and in some ways, this makes it probably the coolest race that exists in Guild Wars 2, because it's so much like more technical and skill-based to get around, rather than just using a more simplistic mount movement that we see in all the other ones. Like, I really actually enjoy this, and the idea of this race, as it progresses, basically, you're grabbing these little clouds, they're the checkpoints, and yeah, you're running around the hub. It makes you climb up and down the various trees, and it's funny how much use they get out of that existing fairly small space. The race does then take you into that secret cave that's underneath. I guess in a weird way that means that the cave doesn't really feel very secret anymore, because the game very clearly guides you down there. It used to be a crazy like bonus thing, but I mean dailies were asking you to go there anyway. And then eventually the race will take you into the clouds, into the sky, and what are you looking at here? Yes, in fact maybe I even started the video with a snippet of this. You become a super Beedog, and you get to fly around up and down. Very similar to some of the controls we've seen in other places, like when you get that fractal decoration that lets you do this in guild halls, or in some of the fractals, some of the raid mechanics and whatnot. So they've repurposed that for SAB. It's pretty cool. There's like these speed boosts you can get out there. This was my first time and I didn't know the controls, and I accidentally just flew to my death when I was right near the end of the race, and I cried because then it took me ages to finish the damn thing again. You get an achievement for beating it under 5 minutes, which actually seems reasonably easy for me. I guess it depends how competent you are as a jumper at this point. But yeah, really fun. And now you can see, actually, they kind of have expanded the playable space of the hub, because the clouds that were way out in the distance before are actually now something you can interact with and go out and see, and you can go right up to the walls, and you can go high and low. So even though the geometry hasn't formally changed, there's a lot more play space available there. And I've got to say, it's really fun, man. I love being back in SAB. I love seeing what this place looks like and everybody running around and enjoying themselves out there in the hub. And this kind of race was actually a hell of a lot of fun. I kind of wish there were a hell of a lot more of them, actually. Maybe even out in the regular world. Another thing to note, finally, about the race is this little fellow. Yeah, so there's an NPC that triggers it. The NPC is a hedgehog. Probably a gaff and a play on Sonic. This guy, if you actually look very closely, is wearing red shoes down there. And so, yeah, this is a super adventure hedgehog they've created. Why this is most interesting to me is because, obviously, there were no hedgehogs in any established zone. And this is a new potential super adventure NPC that maybe one day we could see in upcoming levels. Alright, maybe I should stop beating the dead horse. They're not coming. I need to get over it. Well, there you go, guys. That's the Super Adventure Festival for this year, with the vendor updates and whatnot. I'll keep you informed about any other updates and things that go in as time goes forward. And hey, at least it's something instead of absolute nothing. It's actually been quite fun. Get in there, have fun, and I'll see you guys very shortly.